Mhm.
What's up, guys? Coach G here again. Welcome to the Bolden Movement podcast. I'm excited for this episode. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Sonya, another personal trainer, an amazing personal trainer. I personally use her for my stretches because I keep it in the community with knowledgeable people like the one sitting across from me. Also, a hard-working mother. And she balances this fitness career. She's also a handstand champion. She won't say that out loud, but we actually met because I was working at a corporate gym and she taught me how to do handstands. And that is very beneficial to my shoulder health, my balance, my body awareness. So if you bodybuild, you CrossFit, whatever it is that you do, handstands are definitely beneficial because, like I said, your body awareness is a big part if you get to that next level. So without further more, welcome.
Thank
Sonya,
you.
thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So we started talking a little bit before we were rolling, and so I'm getting right into it. And I'll get into my view on why I think immediate friends and family don't support small businesses that they know that their friends run, that their family runs. Just taking a step back and reflecting on my experience as a business owner, I feel like certain people don't want to see you fully transform because it irks them. It's like, I should have been doing that. I should have did more, right? And it's like, to your face, they're like, oh yeah, it's cool. I love what you're doing. Keep pushing. But there's no way that's how they are behind closed doors because they don't even like your post.
Yes.
I mean, for real though, like you don't even double tap the post, but you hype me up when I see you in person. So now we get closet applauses is what they call it.
Lurking.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. But that is all across the board. People feel this who have small businesses across the board. You think that, all right, I'm going to sign my mom up as my first personal training client or my best friend or this or that. Yeah, you might, but they're going to want a discount. They're not going to show up on time. They're not going to respect anything you're doing. And that's what you also have to think about. Do you want those people who aren't going to respect you as a real business and see what you're doing for your livelihood as a hobby? Do you want those type of people who can't see you in that different light? Maybe it is better to have a new community to start a new business and a new venture because a lot of people are going to get left behind anyway. So the people who act like they can't see you and you're putting everything out there, to those people, I delete and block and I love it. I delete and block all the time. And their message will turn green. They'll find out eventually, but I'm not on social media for a whole bunch of friends. I'm trying to show a healthy lifestyle in that community. All the drama is for everybody else. So the moment there's drama or the moment I feel like there's envy or anything like that, I will delete and block. And maybe that's extreme. Maybe that's extreme.
I don't think it's extreme.
But it's just like I'm trying to filter through the people anyway. I want the people who are really with me, not the ones who are rooting for my downfall. So that's my take on it.
Well, also trying to run small businesses, period, for anyone doing it are going to have people that can't support it. But on top of that, we're in a field that is personal to everybody. Everybody's health and fitness. So when we're talking to our close family and friends, it's hard for them to accept our advice in it because we're too close. And so that's why it takes a village for all of us. A professional in this for 20 years, when I was a young 20-something-year-old, and I did know things, it was hard to have credibility with your family and friends. And so even when it comes to social media, there are people that cannot hop on with you every step of the way, but they're watching. And the thing is, the most weighted thing as fitness professionals is showing your consistency.
Right.
So it's like they can't heart it the whole time, but they're watching the whole time. And the thing is, it might not hit them today, but a year, they're still seeing you post over and over again. And it's going to hit them different when they're ready to like hop on themselves.
Yeah, I think everybody has their own, contemplation stage, which may take longer than others.
Yes.
And there's people that, you give them their time, they come back around, they do really want to work with you. They just, it really wasn't a good time. That wasn't an excuse. But as a trainer, it's hard to figure out what's real and what's not. Like, this person really gonna hit me up in 3 months?
Yeah.
You know, like, are you really? Because we've been at the gym where you have a consultation that doesn't show up and you're just sitting there. Like, this happens, and like they hit you up, they're excited, and you're sitting there with your clipboard and nobody shows up. Like, and I think those things have that effect, but that came from a corporate gym.
Right.
So now me on my own, I have a lot less, give there. It's like, if you don't show up on that second time, I'm probably not going to hit you up again. You're going to have to come get me, because if I have to track you down like that, you might, not always, but you might be a scheduling issue. You might be that client that, won't do all the things on the list. And I mean, I don't know if that's me being biased, but I feel like the ones that I have to chase that don't actually come back around like they say they're going to come back around are typically the bad apples.
Right. And I know over time, it's not like I figured this out from the beginning, but I really do, when I'm starting a client relationship, you never know how long you're going to work with them when you meet them. There's no way to know. But going into it, my intention is for a long-term vision. And so it's like, that's the system that I'm offering, is a long-term vision. It's an energy system to plug into. So it's not about you even come learn the skills. It's the energy system that it takes to keep it going. And so it's like, that's what I'm offering. So if you want in on the energy system, it's here, whether you plug in or not. And you're welcome to plug in, or you're welcome to leave anytime. But with that intention, I get long-term clients. Most clients are 5 to 10 straight years. I've been taking care of the same community of people for a long time, because it's an energy system. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hitting on a few cylinders, not just getting them in shape. It's more about like empowering them, making them focus on themselves, because their lives don't allow them to do that. It's me pouring into them when they pour into everybody else. It's about setting that up for them,
Definitely makes sense. I know you go, you dive deep into your clients. That's why they stay with you for long term. For any, new trainers listening, you have to dig deep into your clients and get to know them, or you're not going to know the ins and outs of that they're eating macaroni and cheese at night. Like, you're not going to know like what their real stresses are, and that their anger really hurts every time they come and see you. So you really want to dig into those clients and ask them questions over and over, because like we just heard, any day could be that moment where it breaks for them, where it clicks for them. And you're that person that helps them get there. And those aha moments, I mean, I love those moments. Don't get me wrong. I love those moments when, like, I can't pick that up, I can't move that way, and they do it. And you're like, thank you, you did it. I told you could do it the whole time. Like, here it is.
I knew it.
And it makes your day. Like, I still have those moments. And I find joy in those. And I think that's the big part of what keeps me in the industry, is because you have the moments of satisfaction, because you're seeing somebody transform, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too, because a lot of clients may have mental blocks. I don't know if I can do this. And you're showing them they can do more than they thought that they could do on their own. You seeing that on the outside looking in is always going to feel good. Back to my first point of the support, I think the hard part is you want to help people so bad. People don't necessarily want to help you actually become, free from this lifestyle. Have you thought about your trainer becoming, free and having a life? Like, do you think about the times where you leave them there at the gym, or you call them 10 minutes before a session, you say, I'm not coming, and they're ready to go? They may have dropped the kids off early to make it to your session, or maybe they skipped dinner to be there that evening. I guess those things kind of taint that for me, which I have to be careful of.
That's the hard moment.
I have to be careful of that. I can't let the bad outweigh the good. I have to remember how good that the good feels, and not think about, damn, got stood up again.
It's like you have to look at all of it when it comes to meeting new people. It's planting seeds, and some seeds stick, some seeds don't, and you can't get out of the planting of the seed process to try to meet people.
Yeah.
Because it's a very delicate time for people. If somebody is making a decision to do something to change their life, some people chicken out. And we can't take it personally that they chicken out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't take it personally. I'm just afraid that, I don't want anybody's time to be wasted.
Yeah. Well, and it's a respect thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to feel like your time's respected.
Right.
And it's hard when it's wasted. Or when it's not a billable hour when we could have been billing something. Yeah.
I wonder what industry is just like this, that where you have to like show up and you don't know if your client's going to be there or not.
Yeah.
On your own time, you have to get your own clients on your. I wonder what industry is just like that. I wonder if it's just trainers.
That's a good question.
Maybe we'll get a comment or two on it.
Yeah.
So my thing is those aha moments. My clients hitting those milestones. I love it. I feel good when I see it. So what keeps you personally in the industry?
Well, I feel like since I entered, it's never been a question that I should be here. It's always been a clear sign that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing because it's bringing together things that I love as far as health and fitness. I even remember being a young kid, curious about health. Like I want to be healthy. Like that's always been a part of me, and the discipline of movement and exercise in your life, but also the building relationships. I mean, that's where my gifts in life are. And, I'm a one-on-one kind of person. And so it gives me a place to connect to people through movement, and I dive into their brain. I get to do this for a job because this is so awesome. You know what I mean? And getting people, again, empowering people to do things that they didn't think they can do, it changes the projection of their lives. I even had a client a business owner, big boss guy, and he came a lot of days each week with me. And that first Christmas party, his employees wrote up a certificate about him working out because he's became a better boss since.
See a transition. There's a gap to be bridged.
You see the impacts it's like if people are coming to work out, I see it as people are taking care of their mental health. That's what it's part of it. So you could see the transformations in people, even another longtime client, she came in her 50s. I've trained her for maybe 8 years now, but in her 50s, she's like, I've never exercised. I hurt when I roll over in bed and I don't like to sweat. Like that's what she gave me. And we've been training for 8 years and she's in better shape than she's ever, and mentally and physically. And you see it, if she would have never taken that step, where she would be now since that day, it's a changing of life.
Yeah.
It's a change of life. Yeah.
And I think the great thing about what you're saying is if somebody were just to come on board and for you to be able to show them the way, how much it would benefit them. And I feel like just my frustration, probably wrongfully, it hurts because it's just like, I want to help you. So why are you fighting it? Like you're going the wrong direction because if I care about this person, I want to help them, but they don't want to help themselves. So it's like, I tighten up as a trainer. Should I tighten up my approach? Because it's like, we've talked about in the past, our delivery to people, right? And I've worked on that for years, right? And it's just like, my conversation should have been a little bit sharper, or this should have been a little bit better. But do you think it's that? You think sometimes it's not ready? Because I know you've had long-term clients, but back when you were like actively taking new clients, were you always thinking like to sharpen that up?
It's like what I realized, because I mean, I could still meet new clients still to this day. And kind of like what I mentioned earlier is I've learned how to relax in it. Just like presenting, I'm doing this whether you hop on or not. That's how I come across. I have a system rolling. It's up to you. Because in the beginning, in my early trainer days, I wasted so much gas trying to persuade and pull. And it's a waste of gas. And so now this is what's going on. If you're ready, hop in. And if you're not, come back when you are. Don't come until you're ready.
Don't come until you're ready. I agree.
I am. That's where I am.
Yeah.
I don't, it doesn't need to be I'm mainly working with adults. You have to make that decision.
Right.
I cannot make it for you.
Right.
But if you do, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it worth your while. So a lot of times when it comes to new appointments, it is about, give me one session. Let me have one session with you. And if you don't feel it, you don't feel it. But all it takes is one session to get in here. But also there's people that I could see they walk out of there feeling amazing. And something with these new clients, I go, look, you feel great now. You feel the value right now, But I'm telling you, you're going to go home and life's going to come back in. And in 48 hours, you're going to have that voice that's like not wanting to do this again. Just know that. You feel great. You're going to have to battle it to get back here. So I said, you have to get back here to replug in every time.
Every time. That's good.
Remember this right now. It's up. This is your decision. This is your call. There's a lot of people doing it. Who are you going to be? Who do you want to be?
Right.
But I do not take responsibility over their decisions anymore. And my life as a trainer has become wonderful.
Yeah, it sounds like night and day because I feel like that's not taught as a trainer.
No.
Oh, we have to pause. Hit the mic.
Yeah.
All right, we good. Good.
Okay, yep.
I feel like it's not taught as a trainer how to sell. And definitely not calmly. I feel like it's very nerve-wracking to sell, especially as a trainer, because you're there to work out and for the lifestyle and to help people and to guide them. And then all of a sudden you have to sell. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, this is like 2 pages in the back of the book, maybe, after you're done.
That. Yeah.
After you're done studying to be a trainer. So there's not a lot on it. And a lot of it is just real world experience in sales. So you can't only be a good trainer, you have to train yourself in sales too.
Yeah.
And that being calm, which I also found, is definitely a key part in sales.
Yeah.
Because the moment you're like, yeah, it's $5,000, they're like,
yeah.
all right, well, I'll see you and never come back. But if you're like, yeah, you know, it's $5K for that, but you work with me for the whole year, I expect this, and that, and you could expect this, and that as well. And then they're like, oh, now I know what I'm getting for that. And you see the value, and you're not acting like you need them, which I think is key, even if you do need them, even if you are just starting. I think acting like, you know, you don't need it is going to be more enticing than you doing 8, 10, 16 follow-ups. Like I remember I was told to do 8 to 12 follow-ups. It's like, do you want people to hate me?
Yeah, stalking.
You know, like people are in your community and like you don't want to push them to.
People need to be reminded though. People need, like, especially with people having so much going on. I know even in my life, if I have a doctor's appointment, I need that reminder. Like, oh, I need to get over there. So people need reminding. Yes.
Right.
It's like that force salesy pitch is what is icky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anytime I'm talking, even if money comes up, because I don't feel like I want to sell anymore. It's either can you afford it or can you not, or you're either into it or not. Like I don't like a sales pitch kind of thing. So, but what I have to remind people, I go, unfortunately, you won't commit to this unless money's involved. That's just how the world works. Trust me, because I was a trainer. I tried to do favors for A, B, and C. 10 out of 10 times I try to offer the free advice. It don't work.
It don't work.
It never works.
I've tried to offer
it never works.
Even train people's kids for free. And it falls off.
The commitments aren't there.
Commitments
so I was like, I'm sorry that you have to put money for you to commit to this, but this is how it works.
That's what it takes.
You won't come. And so even us having cancellation policies, if that was not in place, people would cancel all the time.
It would.
They would
I make everybody sign it. They're like, what is this? This is my cancellation.
This is part of your accountability.
This is part of the package.
This is how both of us can get you to show up. Is we have to agree to this and with money. That's the only reason, like when something hard is about a day for you to show up, money is going to get you to get through that.
Right. I already paid for this. I'm committed. I'm in.
Yeah, it's important. It's part of it.
So when it comes to my commitment in the gym, you know, because I have to work out too, keep my body up.
Yeah.
On days where I don't want to go, there has to be something I do to get my mind reset. And I'm not an ice bath person, but I will take a hot shower. Hot. So I can't breathe in there. Yes. And then when I come out the room, boom, let's go. Or in the summertime, I'll go for a walk with the dog. No music, just walking. Or I'll drive with no music. Or I'll listen to a podcast. There's ways where I know I need to reset, and a lot of it is just me sitting still and being quiet. And that's how I decompress. And I start with that first thing in the morning because I'm trying to dictate my day in the best way possible. Like I love Mondays. Like If you see me on a Monday morning, if you're in that lineup of clients, they're like, here you go.
Yeah.
It's Monday. I love
Fresh,
Mondays because
you're fresh.
everybody is on their game on Monday morning.
Mhm.
You're doing that thing you said you were going to do all weekend. You're answering the phone. The body's on early in the
True.
week. That's why I love Mondays. I always try to get somebody to start a new habit on a Monday. What do you do on the days you're super busy? You know you have to still practice your skill set, but your mind's not there. You keep getting sidetracked and pulled. Like, how do you reset your mind personally? Like, what does your morning routine look like? How do you
So
get back?
it's like my morning routine is get up and train people because
Yeah,
I mean, being fitness people, you have to start early
early,
as a professional.
5:30.
Yeah, 5:30 alarm goes off. So it's like I get, as far as me just before work, I mean, I get my coffee, get my water for the day packed. Have my yogurt with blueberries and pumpkin seeds and all. Like I have that system to where that makes me feel good to get going, but it's not a lot of time because I like to get up, get those things done and get to work, right? But as far as fitting my balance in, I have in my workday 3 workouts scheduled in my schedule, 3 slots in my workday scheduled for my workouts. And a fourth one is like a random, whether it's on a weekend or a different day. So I have one floating workout to fit in a week,
Okay.
but I got 3 scheduled. So it gives me the time to do that. So even if I'm not feeling peak that day, I still have the times already carved out to pick what year I need to be in that day. But it happens like clockwork every week. And so sometimes the fourth workout day doesn't happen, maybe sometimes, but most times it does. But in those times, I just give myself grace because it's the consistency thing that's the most important. So, like, I could take on, if I didn't have that carved out workout time for me, I could take on 8 more clients a week and that money would be great. But it's not, that money's not worth me getting that time in because that makes me a better trainer. If I'm filling up my cup and making sure my fitness is on point and I'm self-caring, I got to practice what I preach. So money or that whole self-care routine, I got to schedule it.
Have you thought about, and I just say this because everybody's time's valuable, but I know yours is super valuable with kids, right?
Yes.
Have you thought about a way to make what you're making with less of a time commitment so you did have that freedom? Do you think the only way for you to be there is for your hands to be on, you know, these programs? Do you think that's the only way for that to grow? Because I just wonder, like, isn't there going to be a cap at some point? And aren't you
You're
going to
only one
want some of that
person.
time back?
Yeah. It's like right now, I have a really good work life balance with kids and all working a certain amount every day. And I keep it because I am a mom. I have like almost normal business hours and my weekdays and weekends are clear for kid events. And so I can only make so much money with this availability. Yes. So, but you know, the goal to make, that's hard about trainer life. You don't work, you don't get paid. That's the hardest part about this job. And so eventually though, about expanding, I would like to expand and at some point own a facility that I also hire people. That's my absolute goal. When is that going to happen? Not sure yet. But do I have my eyes set on that 100%? It's like almost the culture that I have that I give my clients, I would want to extend that culture out. The culture inside of a gym is super important to me. You know what I mean? And so that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's how I need to make money. If I want to go on vacation, I need to somehow figure out how to still make money and go on vacation in my life. So
And even, I don't know if you know, but the coffee shop we're at right now, the owner gets to travel a lot because when she started, she put all the systems in place. She was there. She knows how to do every job in here, in this building. She taught everybody the systems are in place. She went to the different countries to get the different coffee beans and met with the farmers. she's not worried about how her business is going to run now. So now her time is just traveling and doing what she wants.
That's the goal.
And look at all these people here.
That's the goal.
She's nowhere to be found.
Which it's like, which our friends in our, like, we are all friends in our business. It's like, you never know who you're going to team up with.
You never know. Like, what's possible even, like.
Yeah. And so that's why it's so even when it comes going back to like being supported in your business, you know, I've supported you this whole time.
Right.
And I know you supported me.
Yes.
And you have your friends, and there's a lot of us out there. And it's like the people who are brave enough to step in the arena themselves are the best supporters.
Right.
It's the people who aren't going out on a limb like this, they can be the haters. But the people doing the thing, it's like I could feel the respect around the room. Like, you doing it too. I know what you're going through. And that is where, that's the kind of support I want, though. I don't need support from the people who don't know what we're doing here.
Right.
It is important to me to have the ones that matter and know and can appreciate the process.
They recognize it.
Yeah.
They recognize what it takes.
Yeah, so we don't need a ton of friends in this life to do it. You just need...
Yeah, you want to keep it small. More friends, more drama. Even for dudes, even guys.
Yeah.
More friends, more drama.
Yeah, totally.
So be careful of that. Okay, so the next thing, I guess, would be the next big move. My next big move would be dropping this podcast. On top of dropping the podcast, I think that there should be other avenues that trainers make money. So I can just throw some out there, right? I think podcasting is a great way if you are looking for new clientele, because you get to actually talk about more than just reps. Let's do more than count to 10 and get more respect, because I feel like trainers can get overlooked. Like, we just count reps and get to play in the gym all day, but it's deeper than that. And we know it's deeper than that. And it's gotten deeper over time, because you mentioned in the beginning that the clients that you physically help also receive a mental benefit. So this isn't like woo-woo, right? This
maybe
really...
a little bit of woo in there.
I do a little bit of this in my sessions. Just hover.
Whatever works. Whatever works.
Right. So I think, showing our knowledge is good. I think you could easily write a book. I think that'd be a great avenue for you. So just thinking about it. I do want to put ebooks out on training principles and stuff that I use to grow, and not do a whole bunch of like ballistic exercises off Instagram to grow. Like, get back to like the roots and like muscle activation and training to failure into a heavy set, and what stability is in your shoulders and your hips, and what to do when your back is tight and your feet. So like, the basics of how to actually take care of your body is, what I want to cover in my ebook. I think you can give a lot of insight on your side as well, and why you do what you do, which I think would, not that you don't have connections already, but bring you even deeper and more connections. Maybe that's a whole other community that's waiting for you to write that book, right? Teaming up with each other, doing events, have a whole carnival of trainers. If we can all get them together,
totally,
we can set it up by hand. Everybody works out.
And everybody's got different specialties. So like, even let's say at some point we own all of our own places, we could host each other with each other's specialties. I mean, that's what kind of network that this can be, because everybody's so different. So different.
Very different.
So, because even like group setting versus one-on-one, and that's like something I want to bring back into my realm, is hosting more workshops again, because I am mostly all one-on-one. So definitely that's what's ahead.
So workshops, that's also a great avenue. Workshops. So it's just like a half a day, an hour. Is it online? Is it in person?
See, it's like I would start again by handstand workshops, because that's the most fun.
Of course.
Because even what I can do there, it's getting around Frederick's one thing, but I can go start approaching all the CrossFit gyms. Let me teach you some technique here and help you gain some time and save your energy on this. You know what I mean? And so just expanding that way on, because that's a specialty of mine, right? So that alone, I could really run with if I wanted to, right? But also, what do I take online? And so it's always been iffy about online training, because my best work is because I have my hands on you.
Right.
And I can't do that online. And it's like, how do you keep quality online? That's the question. But online training is for a specific population of people. They have to be self-driven already. Right. Everybody in person that I serve is not that not that crowd.
Yeah,
So
they need you there
they
to tell them what to do.
to show up every time and say yes, yes, no,
Right.
no. So that's addressing a different population of people. So online versus not, in-person workshops, group, individual. There's a lot we could all do, you know?
There is, and I think that you deal with the same thing I deal with. You don't want to go online because you're losing touch. Like, how far out of touch are we going to get?
Yeah.
But people who aren't even trainers are taking over the online game, which is frustrating because it's like things get tarnished and a lot of wrong information comes out because you have a following on Instagram or Facebook and people think you're a trainer, but you never studied anything about it.
I know,
And
it's terrible.
even if you got fit, you don't even know how you got there, really. You just did a whole bunch of stuff to burn calories and throw around weights, and you took the weight off, but you can never explain to somebody what you did because that's not your field.
Right.
So that's why, personally, I feel like I'll get into online training because I don't want the industry to be tarnished. And there also are surprisingly a lot of checkpoints with the online training. I know when my online clients stretch in the morning, they did their walk in the morning, they did their workout that day. Their watches connect to the apps now. So every time they finish their walk, I get that email. So you don't even have to communicate with them, but you're right, that is a certain population. But just like I feel like the book thing with you, you could also have that online population that maybe they can't afford you, or maybe their time schedule is opposite. Maybe they work all day, or maybe they sleep all day and work all night.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe there's those people that are looking for you from afar who want something lesser that you can help as well. So that's how I look at it. Like maybe there's people who want a little bit lesser that I can help from afar. And it's not fair to count those people out because we have to adapt with time. So it's like if we don't adapt to some of the technology, we'll get left behind. And an example is like I was going to collaborate with a boxing gym and teach a boxing fitness class locally. And this gym is declining. It's been declining since COVID. It's because the owners are older and they're not adapting to anything. So they're trying to do stuff they did in 03, 2015. And they had good boxers come out. Some went pro. But he doesn't know what to do now. He doesn't understand, like, we need systems so people can come in here, like, 3 clicks of a button and be set up for a class. Like, we have to have multiple classes running throughout the day. Like, we have to bring this gym back. It was so nice. And it fell through because he didn't adapt. So I think there's some things we had to adapt to, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to diminish what you're doing or dim your light in any way in your craft. It's just a different technique, a different strategy of going about the same thing because you can demonstrate your exercises to the T. You can even record those exercises and attach them to each movement, right? So they can see it. And I fought it, honestly, for a while because it's just like, but I'm not there. You know, like the cues aren't there.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people want that lesser. They benefit from it. So I think it's definitely worth looking at as another avenue if you talk about other avenues. So we talked about ebooks, regular books,
Workshops.
I wonder what other ways, you know, trainers stay afloat.
Because, you know, we have to, everybody does, but we have to balance like how to make money, right? It's the money part that you want to make money.
Right.
And comfortable money. You know, you don't want to struggle the whole time. You want to make good money. But then also, again, balancing that part that has nothing to do with the money and why we do this job and why we need to do this job and why we can't quit on this job because people need us in that sense. It's like, it's balancing that. And, you know, even as a one-on-one trainer, at this point, because I've been so specific on the one-on-one, sometimes it's hard for me to pan out to group because, God, I have so many details I could fix in the room because I have the liberty to do that one-on-one.
Right.
But
those group views are different. They're different. You got to think of like 3-year-old terms, like, all right, like simple for the whole group to get it.
Yeah.
It's doable though. You can do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I would be comfortable. I'm comfortable with certain workshops. I know it, but on a training, but do I want to do that? I can make more money in a group, but I don't know if I want to do groups majority of the time. I enjoy the one-on-one. Like even me doing the job, I'm just made for the one-on-one.
Yeah.
I can never give that up, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't give it up.
Yeah, I don't want to give it
I
up.
wouldn't give it up. I mean, if you like doing one-on-one, I'll keep doing one-on-one.
one-on-ones.
I'll keep doing one-on-one. You just need a little prodigy.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
it. You
And
just need
so
Friday to bring up and
exactly, and like
show 'em
mentor.
the real roots, kind of NBA and all that,
Right.
because you don't want people taking your juice. So when I first got started on my own,
Mm-hmm.
I had the opportunity to have an intern, and the first one didn't really work out, but the second one, I still talk with him, and this was through FCC. I talked to this professor. He was my
Okay.
intern. This is how we deal with clients, and he shadowed me through sessions. I showed him how I was programming, and I was actually subleasing from another gym. So I was like, this is what I have to write to the owner because we were here today. Like, I have a key. Like, I have to document everything I'm doing. Like, this
Yeah.
isn't even my building. And like, I'm showing him the ropes and this and that. And like, I can tell, like, when I'm giving him all this, it's too much. And it's just like, oh, he didn't think it was all this. Now
Yeah.
he's like a deer in the headlights. And it's just like, oh, like, this is what we do after we leave the gym floor. Like, we have to do this paperwork and figure out what the next time they're coming in, what they're
Mhm.
going to do, make sure, we check on them in between time. Like, and everybody, has what they need. Like, you can't just go in and go out. Like, you can't just, revolving door in and out the gym. If you
Yeah.
want it to last, I mean, you can, but
Mm-hmm.
you probably lose more clients,
Right.
and they'll cancel more often if you are revolving just in and out, and you don't stay and really work with them.
I mean, that's why you see a revolving door in this industry.
Yeah.
People get into it because they like fitness.
Yeah,
And
they
then
don't
they
really want to
realize,
stay and
yeah,
help anybody.
yeah,
It was kind of disheartening because it's just like, I thought he was going to be like my next prodigy. And it
yeah,
was just like, I'm giving him way too much.
yeah. And it takes a while. Like, I know how I could respond to someone now. I mean, I could have never done it 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
You need so much time in this industry
It
to
takes
get a
time.
feel for it. You know what I mean?
It does take time.
It takes a lot of time to like read the language of the body. Because it's like, I even tell clients that, I have learned to listen to your body. I don't listen to your words. I've learned how to let the body tells me the truth. The words don't always tell me the truth all the time. So like, but in order to get on that level with other people's body, I've had to have a lot of time in it to be able to read it. You can't just immediately read that.
Right.
You learn it. So,
Like, you have to be willing to go to that depth to even see that.
yeah.
Definitely. So there's levels to training.
100%. And like you were talking earlier about like diving into relationships with people. Generally, like some people open up quick, some, not often though. But it's like I need 6 months with you. If you can give me 6 months, it's like a trust needs to be built, and it takes time to do that without being rushed into it. It's like 6 months, then I can start sinking my teeth into people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It definitely takes time, and like my thing that I'm adamant about now is like I'll never sell a 30-day program or 45-day fix, anything like that. Don't hit me up.
Yeah.
Just don't even hit me up. Like, I got 30 days for this wedding. Okay, well, I'm not you.
Yeah.
I'm not you. I'm not gonna lie to you and say in 30 days you're gonna lose 10 pounds because you're not gonna eat and work out all day.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that to you.
And look, I don't even train for aesthetics anymore. Like I don't do.
Train for
That's it. How
longevity,
if you want to get out of pain,
suppleness.
You want to get out of pain and move well, I'm your girl. But outside of that, I'm not. Like even nutrition is a tough topic because that's a whole different. Like that's so many of our behaviors need to be addressed with nutrition. It's not just about eat this, don't eat this. It's behavior change, and like I can't take all that on.
Right.
And take all your behavior change for fitness. Like that's two different categories, and they're very connected, but that's two different things.
It's two different things. Some people specifically do habit change, and I've met those people, and like twice a month just to get you just to change a habit, just for the habit, and it's just like it's tough, but it's just like if it's that hard to change your habit, do you want to change it?
Yeah.
I mean, if it takes you, 6 weeks to start drinking water in the morning, like, do you really want it?
It's just that you got to decide. You got to make some decisions.
Just decide. Like you said, you're an adult. Decide. Are you in or are you out? Are you in or are you out?
That's it.
So do you ever have like those touch-up conversations? Do you ever see clients kind of like wandering or they're stressed or going through something and you have to pull them back and pull them to the side?
It's every day or an hour, every
Right?
hour.
And it's just
There's so many times that they could walk in the door and like, almost canceled today. I said, well, good thing you didn't.
It does happen.
Let's turn your life around in an hour. And guess what? 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I came. Like, you always have to show up.
Always have
like,
to show
no
up.
matter what, unless you're sick or something, you have to show up. And like, I think that's another valuable thing in long-term clients is you have to demonstrate the low, medium, high gear. If you've got low gear only today, let's do low gear. That's the consistency coin day. You showed up, we nurtured your body. This is what you needed today. Every day cannot be record-breaking days. If you do anything long-term, that's not what it's about at all. You got to show up. And if you don't show up, you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how this system works. You know what I mean? So doing a dance with people, look, I even have a client that for over 5 years, 2 to 3 times a week, she's 15 minutes late every time. And the thing is, and she knows it. Here's the thing. It's like in the beginning, it's like I got internally, I'd be like, it's time wasted. Yeah. But no, it's like getting to know her. She knows this is part of her. Yeah. And if I didn't dance with her, or made her feel judged because of it, she would have fell off. Right. And here we are over 5 years still training together because I can dance with you. That's
a good one. Being able to do the dance as a trainer is definitely key.
It's your decision. Yeah. And so, so if this person ever complained about results, then that's the first place I'd go. Well, then you have to show up more in time. But this is your show. You get what you put in. So but there's something about even me moving locations, she's the same amount of time late.
Doesn't matter where you're at.
She lives different distances from my place now, but she's still the same amount of time late. So it's like I have to accept that in her to keep going.
It's who she is. This is part of it.
Who she is, but we're still going, and that's the most important thing. Push something too hard and lose them, then you lose. Yeah, everybody loses.
Yeah, it's that balance. How hard do you push?
How hard do you? So like,
how strict do you? Come off at the beginning. Because in the beginning, it's like you're carrying a 3-year-old around the room. Mm-hmm. How hard? When do you start being stern, right? Because they're just starting. Like, you don't want to give them this impression that the gym is intimidating or so serious that it's like boot camp or like I'm in military school. Yeah. But you have to instruct them so they don't get hurt, so they move properly. Well, so there are times where you turn it on where you're like, hips back, or you're like, head up. Like, you have to like pull them.
Everybody that I work with knows that I could pull out an assertive accountability. Like, I'm serious. It's because I care, though. Mm-hmm. It's like it comes from a place that I got your back, and I'm gonna say it to you. Yeah, because I care about you. And you
keep it 100.
Yeah, and you have to answer this. What's who you want to be, And so the important thing is for them not to feel judged. This is the last place that you could afford judgment in. Right. Judgment will make anybody get out of there. So I could address you without making you feel judged. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes. That's just so important. You know what I mean? Because I don't judge her for being late.
Yeah, this is what it is.
But as soon as you get here,
we're on.
We gotta hit it. Yeah, no time wasted now. Yeah,
that's good. And then, so what would you say now to yourself when you first started training? Mm-hmm. Say it was, you're just getting ready to walk in. You've been waiting for this moment. Like, this is so cool. Like, this is a job now. Like, you're on. Like, what would you say to yourself now from the experience back then? Like,
easy answer, because any trainer that has started, I share this with new trainers all the time because I wish somebody would have said it to me. Mm-hmm. There's a few points. When you're building clientele, you cannot wrap your self-esteem in your clientele coming and going, because it's hard to.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a roller coaster. Yeah.
Oh God, 3 cancellations in 1 week, and you feel like, oh, something must be wrong. I must not be good enough, and you cannot connect self-esteem to that ebb and flow. Right. Because the ebb and flow is normal on the build. You got to spend time here as a trainer. You got to put your time in to build your community. So don't get caught up in self-esteem. And also that boundary setting for yourself as far as how many clients you're going to take. Don't overrun yourself. Because the burnout's a high thing in our industry too. Yeah. It's burnout. So
that's why I brought up to you other ways for you to, get your time back because of burnout.
because you got to charge your battery. All we're doing is transferring energy to people all day.
All day.
And so it's like, I know a thing to charge my battery. I have to clear the room. If somebody's in the room, I'm at service. Even at home or personal life, I'm just a nurturer. So I have to clear the room for me to be quiet. Like you said, you have to just be quiet. So set boundaries. Don't get your self-esteem caught up, and stay in your lane of knowledge. Don't talk about things you don't know about.
Yeah, you have to be careful going in down the lanes.
So I always say, if you come across, you learn with clients. Clients give you things to learn about, right? So like,
come up with something. Like, I'm not sure what that is, but I'll get back to you because
let me get back to
what
you
in the world?
Yeah, and
but you can find out.
Yeah, don't talk about stuff you don't know. That for me is a huge one.
I think boundaries is huge. I don't mean to cut you off, but boundaries is huge with clients, because a client, you see them often and they might start telling you all types of things about them. And I feel like you can't feel obligated to tell them your life story back, because sometimes that can shoot you in the foot. Like, your clients, they talk to their family about you, like they talk to their bosses. You're a boss. You have to be careful sharing all your personal information just because it's 6 o'clock in the morning, you're having a casual conversation with your client. Yeah. You have to remember to set that boundary, because once, they pass it and you start talking about stuff that you didn't really want to talk about, like, it's hard to come back from it.
Totally.
So
it's gotta stay professional.
You gotta stay professional
You
with
stare, but
Yep. I mean, and you'll be invited to birthday parties and weddings and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in that everyday conversation, let them do the talking.
Yes.
You're there to cue them up. You're there to train them, make sure that they're safe. Let them vent. They want to vent. Let them vent. I'm not saying don't vent. They can't wait to tell you how their week has been when they see you.
Yes, exactly.
So they're thinking about it. So let them vent, but make sure, whistle while you work, lack of bell term. Right? You have to be able to work and do it at the same time. So,
and another huge advice that I have too is every single year do an educational opportunity. Go for education every year. You have to map out. So this year you should already know what you're doing next year.
Right.
You need to map out, because that's what's going to mold you as a trainer, is the continuing education. And what are you picking and why, and to be really mindful and intentional about that. Because if you went a whole year without learning something new, that is a wasteful year.
That year just
you need to stack up your knowledge, and every year that passes needs to have it. So, yeah.
I think even if you need it or not, like, I know we have to do continuing education every 2 years or so, but you're saying every year, you should probably learn something every year, if not more. Because there's always things out there. There's always seminars and workshops, and there's always things out there for trainers and fitness people.
I've taken a lot of seminars and workshops, but after you get that base of info through all those little events, it's like, I'm saying a huge event, a huge educational investment per year. That's kind of where I am at this point. And I'm even have so much I want to do that financially I can't overdo it either.
Yeah.
But now it's like you get hungry about it, and there's a lot of the times things I'm finding that I'm interested in now aren't even approved by these big box certifications.
But couldn't you petition that?
You
some
could.
Of those?
Some of them you can, or some of them, I know my organization.
I wonder why they would say no though. Like, why would they even stop you if you take the time?
You would have to. So the thing is that you're limited on how much you could put in that category, right? So I still have to go and get my check boxes checked by what they approved, and then I got this amount I could use on what I want. But I'm still spending money on education that doesn't get credit at all.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not going to limit myself because of what they approve or not approve.
That's a good way to look at it. I used to take things that were only approved, even if I wanted to do other stuff. It's
the good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff isn't
approved. It's new.
Yeah.
It's the new stuff. I don't limit it to what they approve.
Yeah. That's good. So don't limit your education to just the 2 years as a trainer, every year, if not more. And then also do things that are outside of your continuing education credits. So you can do education outside of that if you think it's going to help you in your craft, which I think is important. Because like I said, I was like, what's the point of me doing this if I'm not getting credit? But it's just like, because your knowledge base, it's so much bigger than you just getting credit or points or a check. It's what you bring to the table when you do meet that client. Now I have this other, filing cabinet, this knowledge base I can pull from because I did take that continuing education class and stuff like that. I didn't know when I was going to use it, but today I was asked that question, and here it is. I can give you the whole spin on it now. And now my client feels more comfortable because I knew the answer in depth. And I think it's important to always be educated because you're going to be asked questions all day, every day as a trainer, right?
And that's also another trick on having long-term clients. They all know I go off every year.
Yeah.
What you gonna learn?
Yeah. What you gonna bring back to us? Yeah.
Guinea pigs. They love it. They love, because they don't have time to be going through what's new. They have their own careers, and so that's what they're paying you to do. You go learn it. You bring it back to me. You teach me. That's what our job is. And so that's all the clients know. They know me at this point, and they know it's never going to stop coming to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they have also trusted on what I am hand selecting to go learn about. It's like I think even remember talking to you first, it's like I would say to you as a trainer, what is the George experience? What does that mean? Like, what are your clients signing up for? And so I've tried to figure out what my experience is. And part of it is my constant learning. And you could count on that I'm going to go and I'm going to invest real time and money into some quality stuff. And I'm going to bring it back.
Yeah.